I never thought a single text could shatter my world, but that Sunday morning it did. I was sipping my coffee, scrolling lazily through my phone, when a message from an unknown number popped up. "You need to know the truth. She's not who you think she is." My heart skipped. Who was this, and what truth? Before I could reply, another message followed with a photo attached. My wife, Emily, in a cafe, laughing with a man whose hand rested far too intimately on her shoulder. Time froze. Coffee cooled in my hand. My chest tightened. The world around me seemed to blur. I knew Emily, or at least I thought I did. She was my wife for 10 years, the mother of our 2 children, the woman I had trusted with every corner of my heart. And yet, in a single photo, everything I believed about our life crumbled. I didn't rush to confront her that morning. I needed to process, to think, though my mind was anything but calm. The house was quiet. The kids were still asleep. I replayed the moment over and over. Her smile, the casual closeness in the photo, the way she looked at him. I felt anger rise, then despair, then a hollow numbness. How long had this been going on? Who knew? How could she betray me like this? I thought back to the little things I had ignored, the subtle changes, the sudden late nights at work, the secretive phone calls, the distant eyes when we talked. I had brushed them off, telling myself I was overthinking, that I was imagining problems where none existed. And now, the truth slammed into me with the force of a hurricane. When Emily finally walked into the kitchen later that day, humming softly, I could barely meet her eyes. She looked normal, cheerful even, unaware of the storm I was carrying. I sipped my coffee quietly, pretending nothing was wrong. "Morning," she said, placing a plate of toast in front of me. "You're quiet today." I forced a small smile, my voice low. "Just tired, I guess. Busy week." She nodded, oblivious. I watched her for a moment, the familiar curve of her smile, the way her hair fell across her shoulders, and felt a pang of grief. How could someone so familiar become a stranger overnight? That night I couldn't sleep. I wandered through the house, my mind spinning with questions and plans. I needed to know everything. Not just for myself but for my children, for the life I had built and thought was real. I started digging, emails, phone records, receipts. It was painstaking, exhausting work, and every discovery was like pouring salt into an already open wound. I found messages, suggestive and secretive, exchanged late at night with him, the man from the photo. My heart ached with betrayal. The woman I had loved with every fiber of my being had lied, cheated, and built a secret life alongside mine. The day I confronted her was tense. I waited until the children were at school. Emily came home, cheerful as always, and I forced myself to remain calm, though my hands shook. "Emily, we need to talk," I said, my voice steady despite the storm inside. She raised an eyebrow, a flicker of concern crossing her face. "About what?" I placed the photo on the table between us. "About this." She froze. Her eyes widened, and for a moment I thought I saw guilt, fear, and shame flash across her face. Then she composed herself. I can explain," she said, voice trembling. I leaned back, trying to control the rage boiling inside me. "Explain. How long, Emily? How long were you living a lie?" Her lips quivered, and tears welled in her eyes. It didn't mean anything. I made a mistake." I laughed bitterly, the sound harsh in the quiet kitchen. "A mistake. 10 years, Emily. 10 years of trust, love, and loyalty. Was that a mistake too?" She looked away, unable to meet my gaze. I don't know. I never meant for it to happen this way. I love you, I think." Her words faltered, and my anger flared hotter. I wanted to scream, to hit something, to make her feel even a fraction of the betrayal I felt. But I didn't. I needed control. I needed her to understand the full weight of her actions. In that moment I made a decision. I would not let this destroy me. I would not crumble under her betrayal. And if she wanted to play with fire, I would ensure she felt the consequences. Not in violence, but in the way she would never forget the pain she caused. I didn't respond immediately. Instead, I watched her panic, her carefully constructed facade cracking. I told her to leave the house while I made arrangements for the children. She protested, but I held firm. Once she was gone, I began executing a plan, methodical and calculated. I wasn't seeking revenge in the traditional sense. I wanted her to see, to understand, to feel the emptiness that came from betraying someone who trusted her implicitly. I started by securing our finances, transferring joint accounts to protect the children and myself. I documented everything, the photos, the messages, the receipts, and prepared for a confrontation that would strip away any deniability. Weeks passed. I played the part of the composed husband, but beneath the surface, I was a storm. I began subtly revealing her betrayal to people in her life. Her closest friends, colleagues, her family. I did it carefully, not to humiliate, but to show her that deceit leaves no corner untouched. Word spread quietly, like a shadow, and the isolation she felt was a mirror of the betrayal she had inflicted upon me. Then came the final act. I invited her to a dinner at our home, a neutral gesture she interpreted as an olive branch. She arrived, hesitant but hopeful, and I welcomed her with a calm that belied the fury inside. "Emily," I said, leading her to the dining room, "I've been thinking about us, about everything that's happened." Her eyes searched mine, anxiety written all over her face. I just want to make things right," she whispered. I smiled, a cold, measured smile. "Make things right? You think it's that simple?" I handed her a folder, thick with evidence. Photos, messages, receipts, even letters I had discovered she wrote to him but never sent. Her hands trembled as she flipped through the pages, each turn a dagger into the life we had shared. "I want you to understand what this feels like," I said softly, though every word was laced with controlled fury. "You betrayed me, and I trusted you with everything. And now, you feel the emptiness, the isolation. You feel the truth laid bare. You see yourself as I saw you." Tears streamed down her face. "Please. I didn't mean." "You didn't mean," I repeated, echoing her words like a mantra. "But you did. And meaning doesn't erase betrayal. It doesn't erase the nights I cried alone, the moments I doubted my own judgment, the pain I carried silently." She knelt, sobbing, but I didn't offer comfort. Not now. Not ever. I let her confront the reality she had created, the destruction of trust, the loss of innocence, the fracture of a family she had chosen to betray. After she left that night, I finally felt a strange calm. The rage was still there, simmering, but it no longer controlled me. I had reclaimed my power, not through vengeance in its most primal form, but through truth, exposure, and unwavering control over my own life. The following months were difficult. We divorced, the legal proceedings cold and clinical, but necessary. I focused on my children, rebuilding trust, creating a life that was authentic, unburdened by lies. Emily faded from my daily life, a ghost of pain and betrayal, a reminder of human frailty and deception. And yet, sometimes in the quiet moments, I still remember that Sunday morning, the text that shattered my world, the photo that revealed the truth, and the realization that betrayal can come from the very hands you once held in trust. But I also remember the strength I found within myself, the courage to face heartbreak and emerge not as a victim, but as a man who refused to let another's deceit define him. The pain of betrayal never completely disappears, but revenge, I learned, doesn't always come from anger. Sometimes it comes from reclaiming your life, standing tall in the ruins, and allowing the truth to be the punishment. And in that I found my peace.